Welcome back to Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Vinny.
I'm Dylan.
And today we're going to talk about Michael Burry a little bit. He's kind of made the news rounds again recently. He's deleted a vast majority of his Twitter posts, and that's kind of become like a talking point of late. It's interesting. It's not the first time he's done it, but people really pay attention to him these days. So
he's definitely frustrated with the current market.
Yeah, and the world in general. Yeah, I would say. If we're actually Dylan and I are planning to do a video about Michael Burry and inflation. If you're interested in that kind of content, please consider subscribing below. We should be coming up in the next week or so.
Which you should be, because hyperinflation and the stock market could be a problem.
Yeah.
So
he's making some doomsday predictions, but. We'll see. It's certainly interesting. So for those of you who don't know, Cassandra is actually Michael Burry's Twitter profile here. I'm going to talk a little bit about that real quick. So, it's interesting. He definitely gives you a little bit of a window into his psyche. So Cassandra's like a figure from Greek mythology that was cursed to utter truth of prophecies but never be believed. So that kind of tells you the state of mind that like Michael Burry lives in, where
he was definitely right about the housing crisis, and that was ballsy. So
yeah, exactly.
This is from a comment from one of our 7 subscribers, right?
Hey, Dylan, we're up to 88. Okay, buddy.
Thank you so much for commenting, and that was very useful.
Yeah,
thank you.
Definitely interesting. I assumed it was like a name from a family member, or like a literary reference, but until
that's where I went to
dug into a little bit. But this is kind of the headlines you've seen over the last couple of days. This is for Business Insider, but how he'll stop tweeting warnings about the market bubbles. Kind of in vain with that Cassandra thing, or in line with that Cassandra. You feel like he's been warning this, prophecies, and like everyone completely ignores him, despite the fact that he was able to correctly predict like the 2008 financial crisis. He's an interesting character, to say the least.
Yeah, real smart guy. He's definitely made some weird stock decision moves. Not stocks, I guess, like investments, like the hedging inflation with prisons.
Yeah,
like a lot of interesting moves.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, like I said, this is what you currently see if you actually look on his Twitter profile. He said once again, Cassandra there, and then he's got the picture of Dr. Seuss. He loves to upload selfies of himself here, and kind of randomly, like 2 a.m. kind of selfies, and he'll make them his profile picture. So he added all these like heavy metal band. And then he left up some reviews for some local restaurants. And then if you look right here, you'll actually see like a little phrase in Vietnamese. Now, Michael Burry's wife is of Vietnamese descent.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So, if you want to pop that guy into Google Translate, this is what it translates to. No more, where I am standing. So he said he's given his last warning as of right now.
I'm gonna give him 2 months till he's back on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Because this ties in with the thing I've told you before. Is the market can remain irrational far longer than you can remain solvent, right? Like
I'm reading a book right now, and that line is a quote, because that's like a very famous quote.
Yeah,
4th page, and I thought of you.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's the idea, though, is that yes, it's acting irrationally, but that doesn't mean it's going to stop anytime soon. His prediction for 2022 is when he thinks we'll see the hyperinflation. But fortunately, since Michael Burry is kind of like such an infamous character these days, there are multiple websites that chronicle like his or archive his tweets. So this is one of them. I'll actually go ahead and link this one in the description below. So if you guys want to take a look at it, it's interesting to kind of give you like a little idea of his state of mind of late. But I just want to give you guys that little update. And like I said, we're working on a Michael Burry versus inflation video. So if you want to see that, please consider subscribing to our channel. There's a book he referenced that I want to see if I can get a hold of, that I would love to read. But we'll see if we have time before we can get that video done. Anything else you wanted to add? Dylan?
Yeah, just in terms of the inflation that we're going to talk about, don't hold me to this number because I did this on the fly, but it's something like 22% of all printed U.S. money was printed in 2020.
Yeah, the empty money supply. He's been talking a lot about the Weimar kind of inflation you see post World War One, and to give you an idea of this, Dylan, so the cost of living inflated 17 times over a period of months during, I think it was 1922 or 23 in Germany. So
they were burning cash because it was cheaper than firewood. That's a famous picture. Yep. Yeah, no, that's not good.
Exactly. Every dollar that was in existence in the country in, like, I want to say 1921 maybe, if you had every single one of them, you could not afford a train ticket by like 1923. That's how fast, like, the acceleration of the inflation.
Just to be clear, that's Germany. That was not here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's much more complicated than that. But anyways, it's an interesting scenario he's been painting.
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully, like I said, you consider subscribing and liking the video below so you can kind of see us on our next one there. Thank you.
Have a good one.